Class mods got a huge change in Borderlands 4, in a way that could quite possibly fix one of my biggest issues with the loot system in Borderlands 3. But before we get into that, we need a quick recap of how class mods worked previously. If you already have a decent idea of how class mods worked in Borderlands 2 and 3, or only just care about Borderlands 4, you can skip to this timestamp in the video. In Borderlands 2, class mods were quite simple. Each class mod had an exact set of passives that they always rolled with, regardless of level or rarity. For example, Zero's Ninja class mod always rolled with melee damage. Gage's Anarchist class mod always rolled with plus gun damage minus gun accuracy. The only thing that changed in regards to the passives on class mods was their strength, with each level granting different bonuses based on the grade of the class mod parts. The other half of class mods in 2 were the skill boosts. Each class mod had 3 possible skills that it could boost, with whites giving no bonuses, greens giving plus 5 to 1 possible skill at level 50, blues giving plus 6 to 1 possible skill and plus 5 to another at level 50, and purples giving plus 5 to 1 possible skill and plus 4 to the other 2. The only exception here were the legendaries that granted plus 4 or 5 points to 5 or 6 different skills, depending on which specific legendary it was. These skill rolls are somewhat random up to purple rarity, but the amount of bonus points will always be the same at the same level. As for Borderlands 3, now every single class mod can roll with every single passive from the given pool of 69 different possible passives. This means that no longer are you locked to sniper damage on certain class mods, which made class mod variety much better, but made farming class mods so much worse, as getting the correct passives was now rarer than getting a Cobra in Borderlands 2. White class mods in Borderlands 3 rolled with 0 passives, greens rolled with 1, blues rolled with 2, and purple and legendaries rolled with 3 passives. Another difference with these passives is that they no longer change in power amongst the same level. A weapon damage passive will always give plus 35% weapon damage at level 72. The skill boost in Borderlands 3 also worked quite a bit differently than Borderlands 2. In Borderlands 3, each specific class mod always granted a boost to 3 possible skills. Amara's Artisan class mod would always boost Fast Hands, Dread, and Deep Wall, for example. However, the amount of points given to the skills was rarity dependent, with points being distributed across the skills rather than every skill getting the same boost. White class mods got 1 skill point across its possible skills, greens got 2 across its possible skills, blues got 3, purples and legendaries got 5. Additionally, in Borderlands 3, legendary class mods also granted a specific bonus ability to that character, which ranged from anywhere to useless to completely broken. So now that we're familiar with how class mods have previously worked, let's talk about how they work in Borderlands 4. Starting off with the skills. The way that skills work on class mods in Borderlands 4 is very similar to the way they worked in Borderlands 3, except instead of each class mod having 3 total possible skills, each class mod can actually have 4 total possible skills. The distribution is a bit different too, with whites giving 2 points across the possible skill rolls, greens giving 4 points across the possible skill rolls, blues giving 5 points across the possible skill rolls, purples giving 6 points, and legendaries getting 7 points across the possible skill rolls. The way that passive stats roll has been significantly changed as well. The passive stats still roll randomly with an exception, but the biggest difference this time around is the amount of passives in the pool. Across 5 different streams, about 20 hours of footage, and at least 100 different class mods, I only counted about 17 different possible passives rolling on class mods. Now, like I said in the disclaimer, this game is still in development and more passives could be added down the road, but at the current moment there are 17, down from Borderlands 3's 69, which is a massive difference. Borderlands 4 seems to have gotten rid of a bunch of the super hyper specific passives like Torgue weapon projectile speeds. In Borderlands 4, white class mods roll with 1 random passive stat of the 17 available, greens also roll with 1 passive, blues roll with 2 passives, and purple class mods roll with 3. Now comes the biggest difference in Borderlands 4's class mods. Legendary class mods in Borderlands 4 roll with 2 passives. The major difference here is that one of the passives will always be the same dependent on the class mod. As you can see here with the Philanthropo always giving ordnance damage, Avatar always giving attunement duration, and the Elementalist always giving skill damage, with the remaining one passive being randomly rolled just like their non-unique counterparts. This is a huge step in the right direction for me, as legendary class mods still grant a special ability like they did in Borderlands 3, but being restricted to only 2 passives with 1 guaranteed allows them to be strong without being infinitely better than even a super well-rolled purple, not to mention being astronomically easier to farm for. This change means that in Borderlands 4, a well-rolled purple class mod could theoretically be a better option than a poorly rolled legendary, which opens up a huge realm of possibilities for builds and loadouts. The class mods in Borderlands 4 actually seem to have found a perfect balance between the class mods of 1, 2, and 3, which is something I am incredibly excited for. But what do you think of the class mod changes being made to Borderlands 4? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, have a fantastic day.